All right, welcome back, everyone. IDX TV in the house. We are here at RLA 2023. I have the man, the myth, the legend with me right now. The man is behind all of this stuff. How you doing? We got Mr. Tony Sciarrotta here, as a matter of fact. He's RLA Executive Director. How's it going?
It's going fantastic, Madison. I'm lucky. I'm humbled. I'm overwhelmed. It's been the best ever, and that's saying a lot.
That is saying a lot. You've seen a lot of these.
Yes.
You're a very familiar face to our friends out there on IDX TV.
Over the years, it's been great working with IDX TV.
We have some people at home that couldn't make it, but they're happy to see you here. So what's been going on? How was the run-up to things? How are things going?
I have to say, it's been amazingly smooth. I have a great team. There's 14 of my teammates, and they made everything happen by coming in early. I show up Monday afternoon. I walk in the back. I normally expect chaos in the registration room, and it was perfectly ordered. Like, everything was in its place. Everything was done. I'm like, you don't need me anymore. But then I get on stage and I'm needed, so it's okay. The run-up, it was great.
That's amazing. And folks at home, you may not be watching, but I was able to watch a lot of sessions, and Tony was kind of the MC and would introduce people, and you'd bring it all together, and it really brought the flavor to everything.
I think of myself as being the maitre d'.
There you go.
All right? Everyone needs to be served a little something special. And my brain works that when someone starts talking on stage, it triggers synapses that put 1 and 1 together and equals 3 or 4 or 5, and I start to tell people about it. So that's been the way for me. I've always been, when people say, are there any questions? Mm-hmm. And to me, it's an embarrassment that there's not questions.
I agree.
So I fought hard over the years. I will always find a question to ask. It's relevant, it's meaningful. It means there's interaction, participation. So I try to spur other people to do it, and sometimes that works.
That's great, because some of it's people's fear, probably. And you have Tony, you're like, hey, let me show him how to do it. Sometimes you got to get your hand up there.
I don't have a lot of fear about speaking up. No.
That's good. That's good. Speaking of your speeches, opening remarks. You did the chairperson's opening address, welcome remarks. You had some key things you wanted to get out. For folks at home that didn't see that, what was that all about?
I think the key message was how big the RLA community has grown. This is an unbelievable turnout of almost 850 registrations, 300 member companies. I carried the message that when I started, we had about 5 companies that were members, so now we're over 300, which is amazing, great growth. But at the same time, the negative side of the story is the returns when I started in the United States were 320 billion. And now we're at 815 billion. So there's a little bit of growth going on. I think I need to grow a little faster and bigger to keep up with that crazy tsunami of returns that's going on. So that was a big message in the opening remarks.
How much of that is based on those annoying shoppers like me that don't know which color you want it, so you buy 3 of them?
Or the woman who doesn't know what dress she wants to take to the next wedding, and she buys 8 of them to return 7.
Yeah.
So there's that. How much of that is cost? They estimate that the e-commerce industry is driving returns somewhere north of 40%. 50%, over 50% for apparel. And shoes, don't stop me, because shoes, people order the size bigger, the size smaller, different colors, and the return rates, because they buy 1, you're talking about 65% return rates or more.
Knowing this, is there a way to optimize this? Is there a way to increase profits based on these behaviors? Is there any way to kind of work the angle?
Madison, that's the secret sauce.
Yeah.
Every company that's here in a booth as a sponsor, exhibiting, etc., they have ideas. And my saying from a decade ago is there's no one silver bullet. You have to use different methods to reduce returns, process them faster, and optimize your asset recovery by reselling them at a higher rate. So there's no one silver bullet to do all that. You need a lot of bullets involved if you're going to have any impact. And we did. We learned ways to do that at Philips, a lot of ways to do it. And that's the key. There's no one magic sauce. You have to talk to a lot of people, and you hear about a lot of great things that work.
Now, when we talk about circular economy, is this just a buzz? Obviously it's more than a buzzword, but how important is circular economy to what we do?
Well, it used to be that returns got thrown away into landfills, and then people started saying, "Well, you can't do that. You got to do something with them. You got to be more sustainable. So recycle them." Well, it turns out that recycling actually uses more energy than building new. And that was depressing for me to learn about, that recyclings really do that. So now we have to talk about reuse. And if we talk about reuse, now we have to go back to the beginning. When you first design it, make it, you have to think about the future of that. You have to think about future use, reuse. And you have to think about, how can I sell you this product, whether it's clothes, computers, electronics, and I meet your expectations. Because the world has become two-dimensional. I'm so glad to be here face-to-face with you, right?
Yes.
We know a lot about each other. We shake hands.
Yes.
And we know a lot about each other just by that. When you shop online and you look at a computer screen, it's a two-dimensional experience. And in your mind, you're like, okay, this is going to be great. And you order it, you open the box, and suddenly you put it on and you put it stand in front of a mirror and like, oh, I look like shit.
Uh-oh, yeah.
Okay?
Like, yep.
Or you say, that doesn't fit in my hand the way I thought it was going to. So those are unmet expectations created by this two-dimensional experience. I hope that's not too scientific for anyone. It's really basic. Let's compare it to a dating app.
Sure.
Right? Who puts the real picture on a dating app? And then when you meet
me.
up and show up, you want to reverse logistics. You want to return right then and there. You want a return authorization on that date, and you're out of there. And that's it. The world's two-dimensional on online shopping, but the real world is three-dimensional, and that's where it matters.
It's my favorite analogy that we've had thus far about our industry. It is so true.
And to bring it back to the circular economy, is now we're not just talking about recycling and sustainability. We're talking about that beginning of the picture through the first use, and then the second use, and the third use, until you've maximized everything out of it possible. The model changes that instead of just making something and then selling something and then it gets thrown out, the linear world, it's a circular world. And you cannot do circular without reverse logistics. And that's where we live. Unfortunately, a lot of the circular economy people live in a different world. They don't understand returns and reverse. It's not all just about design, it's the whole ecosystem. So we're really proud to be a part of it and waving the flag for circular economy.
That is really, really awesome. Let me ask you this. We have a whole variety of speakers here, vendors here, of communities here. Folks that didn't get to make it, what would you say to them to encourage them to come next time?
I would say there's no replacing the three-dimensional experience, the meeting people in person, face-to-face. But more importantly, you get to hear from industry leaders.
Yeah.
And it's different hearing them in person versus a Zoom appearance. There's body language, there's activity, there's slides at the same time that don't always show up. They're willing to say things to a live audience that they don't want to share on a Zoom. And that's a major difference. The voices of the industry that we have here are leaders from global companies and major companies. And I don't have enough apparel, but on the electronics side, because it's high ticket, you've got Dell, you've got HP voices, Intel, Cisco, you've got Best Buy, you've got Walmart, you've got Amazon. You've got these global leaders who really care about making this better. And you can't get that. I mean, there's actually, Madison, there's 19 people here from Amazon. There's 18 people here from Walmart. If they think it's that important to be here, the rest of the world should be focused and be here as well.
That should get them right there, you know.
I hope
we got
so.
18 from
Walmart, 19 from Amazon.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: if people are watching at home, and let's say they're a small business, maybe a medium business, and they have yet to actually commit to a true reverse logistics strategy, department, rollout, and they're on the fence because they know it isn't free to do, right? You know, what do you tell those people?
I tell those people that we have so many solutions providers here who are geared towards smaller companies, smaller businesses. Because at the end of the day, what you have to do as a company is decide, what are you going to do for your customer? And most of them say, oh, I'll just take it back. And then when you take it back, what do you do with it? What are you going to do with the return? And who's in charge? And if you're too small to have somebody in charge and figure out what to do, find a good partner. There are so many here who can help you. Now, there is always a loss. Let's not kid ourselves. In the circular economy and the returns world, there's always a loss of money. But you can reduce that loss by getting a good partner who perhaps will sell it online for you or in a secondary market and do it as a revenue share program. So they take all the work away from you. They can even be set up to be your return center. They get the returns, they tell you what comes in, they tell you the condition, they turn around and resell it for you, and it's a revenue share. So now you've turned a zero pile of goods into some revenue share out of it. And that's really what happens here, because we have so many great partners who can do this to help the smaller businesses. That's a good question. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Let me ask you this as we kind of move on forward. What's the rest of 2023 look to you like? I mean, we're coming out of COVID still, all this stuff. What's the year that's in store?
Well, we just listened to some predictions by a couple of great academics. Dr. Dale Rogers and his son, Dr. Zach Rogers, are supply chain experts, and Dr. Dale Rogers wrote a book 20 plus years ago called Going Backwards, the definitive Bible on returns. And now today he predicts that because of the consumers not seeing any risk buying online as much as they want, because it's easy to return as much as they want, there's a devil and angel side of this. The devil side is there's a lot of returns, which is great for all the people that are here that are in the business to help you do something with it. But the plus side is it's going to drive the economy up because people are buying more, because the lady buys 9 dresses to keep one and return the rest. But it drives the economy, it drives the sales, and that helps the economy, and it helps all economies, frankly, consumer spending.
Totally.
A little crazy, but it's there. I do want to take a moment though, Madison.
Please, Tony.
Also wanted to tell you that this morning, I'm dressed up in this outfit, not because I'm trying to be the next James Bond, okay?
Maybe you already are.
Because we had the awards today, and we recognized 4 companies and 2 leaders, Lifetime Achievement Award, an academic award, as well as 4 companies for Green Reverse Logistics Award, and we also had a Reverse Logistics Innovation Award. Somebody comes up with something new, and then we had Operational Excellence, because all returns are about making them smooth and fast and efficiently processed. And so we gave out awards for those, and that's why I wore the suit today.
Yeah, well, it's a good look. I think I might be disappointed tomorrow to not see it, but I guess we'll just have to wait till next year.
Next year, when we do the awards again.
Yeah, we'll go through the
Or maybe
circle.
in Europe. Maybe we'll try to bring it to Amsterdam. We'll have our own version of awards in Amsterdam.
I would ask for you got to get the little James Bond coupe, though, if you're going to go to Europe.
The Aston Martin?
The Aston Martin.
Okay, I'll get the Aston Martin.
Maybe that one that's like a little submarine one. Remember the Golden Eye? I don't remember. I think you could I think you could pull it off.
That was great.
Thanks. Anything left you'd like to tell anyone else out there before we say bye?
Well,
appreciate your time.
First off, we're not a show.
Yeah.
This is a great conference and a great event,
Well said.
but it's just the beginning. If you're a member of the association, we stay with you all year. I have advisors who help you connect with the right people to help solve your problems. So it's about being in an association. So at the end of tomorrow, and we'll have some great stuff tomorrow, but at the end of tomorrow, we stay with you as a member. And that's the difference, because your returns go on all year and they don't end tomorrow. So that's what I want everyone to know. Be part of an association, the community that loves to deal with this problem and help you solve it. That's what we live by.
Tony, we thank you so much. Everyone out there, thanks for hanging with us. We had the man here, the main guy.
Thank you so much.
Yes,
thank you so much.
Thanks to you guys. We are IDX TV here in Vegas. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time.